For the past 40 years, the BMW M5 has been the quintessential German super sedan that has really challenged a lot of supercars when you pull up next to them at a stoplight. Now, for 2025, BMW is looking to raise the bar even further with the all-new 7th generation M5. And there are two controversies here because the new model is a plug-in hybrid for the first time, delivering up to 717 horsepower. And for the first time in the US as well, we are getting a piece of forbidden fruit because BMW has finally decided to bring the beloved M5 wagon known as the M5 Touring. So today we're actually out here in Pebble Beach for Monterey Car Week, and now that we're finally seeing the new M5 Touring in the sheet metal, let's go ahead and take a first look. So before we start talking about the gorgeous exterior styling of the new M5 Touring, this is an M5 where the M stands for motor, so I thought I'd lift the hood and show you guys what's powering this thing. Now, just like the previous generation, this car continues to have a 4.4 liter twin turbocharged V8. However, this year it's augmented by a powerful electric motor that's sandwiched between the engine and the transmission. Now, underneath this hood, you can see this 4.4 liter twin turbo gasoline direct injection V8 delivers 577 horsepower on its own and 553 pound-feet of torque. The difference, of course, with this new generation, the 7th gen, there's now a very powerful electric motor that's sandwiched between the engine and the 8-speed automatic transmission. The electric motor delivers around 194 horsepower and 207 pound-feet of torque on its own. Combined, the two power outputs create around 717 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. Now, this powertrain is pretty similar to the one that you find in the BMW XM, although it has slightly less horsepower, but the same torque. Like I said earlier, it all goes out through an 8-speed auto with the company's xDrive M-designed all-wheel drive system as standard. It also gives you kind of like a rear drive and a drift mode as well, for those of you who want to do those tail-out shenanigans. We don't have final fuel economy figures just yet. BMW says they'll have that as we get closer to the on-sale date. The electric motor draws its power from a very relatively good-sized 14.8 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack that lives underneath the rear floor area. It should deliver around 25 miles of electric-only range, and BMW claims this model should get to 60 in around 3.5 seconds. With the M drivers package, it'll also do a top speed of around 190 miles an hour. And the other big thing about this car is because it's a plug-in hybrid, it weighs a lot more versus the previous generation at around 5,500 pounds. The wagon is around 140 pounds heavier than the sedan. That does sound like a lot of weight, and it is, but I want you guys to keep in mind the RS6 Avant wagon, this car's main competitor, weighs in at just under 5,000 pounds. So the plug-in hybrid componentry really only adds about 500 pounds of additional weight. The Mercedes AMG with the E-Performance also weighs about the same as this, so kind of keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and talk about the exterior styling of this vehicle, because how could you not notice the styling of this car? Now, first of all, BMW decided to launch this vehicle in the perfect color combination. This is Isle of Man green. It's actually a free color here in the US, and it looks fantastic with the M design cues here. You can see the headlights. All M5s come with these full adaptive iconic LED headlights with the interesting sequential style to the turn signals, which do a fade in and fade out. I haven't really been the biggest fan of that, but I do applaud BMW for being a little bit different. You can see with the executive package, you can the M grille here is illuminated around the edges. There's an M5 badge here. Obviously, this is a plug-in hybrid, so it does need some actual cooling. There are functional openings in the front and lower splitter. There's functional openings to the side there, integrated parking sensors. The camera, I'm surprised they didn't actually mount it here in the center. It kind of drives my OCD crazy how it's located a little off to the side. But overall, you can see the front, while it is a little chunky, it definitely looks stunning. I think we're kind of at the peak in terms of BMW's design philosophy. The company was struggling for a little bit, but I think now they've kind of found their mojo here, and the vehicle looks absolutely fantastic, especially in this Isle of Man green color. Now, looking at the side profile, you can see the wagon version is about 1.5 inches longer than the sedan at 200.6 inches long. This is the biggest vehicle in its class, which currently is only the Audi. Its wheelbase is 118.3 inches long. You can see all M5s will come with a 20-inch in the front, along with a 21-inch wheel at the back. These are the upgraded wheels that you get on a staggered set tire. So it's a 285 by 40 ZR20 at the front, a 295 by 35 at the rear. The brakes, if you guys want to spend about $8,500, you can get a carbon ceramic brake with a 6-piston caliper. These are the standard steel brakes, and you get a 16.1-inch rotor there when you have the standard steel brakes. You can see over here is the charge port door. This is where you can plug the vehicle in. It has an 11 kilowatt onboard charger. The BMW is targeting around 25 miles of electric only range. You can see mirrors here. These are the M specific mirrors, black painted integrated turn signals, cameras throughout. You can see that glass roof is also included. You cannot get a carbon fiber roof on this vehicle like on the Sedan. I also love the black trim that you find along the window trim area. And then looking at the rear, you can see the M5 Touring definitely just looks absolutely stunning. This vehicle in general, when I first saw pictures of it, it was gorgeous, but seeing it here in person, I think BMW nailed the styling language. This looks even better versus the already beautiful Audi RS6 Avant. You can see I love the way the rear spoiler looks. There's technically like 2 peaks for the spoiler here. This car would look really good to me actually when the windows are tinted. There's also a rear window wiper here. Love the full LED taillights. You can see with the blacked out M5 badging. And then down here, you can see the rear diffuser looks really aggressive, especially with those quad outlet exhausts. I won't be able to start the vehicle up to kind of rev it. I'll have to save that for another time, but I do love the rear diffuser that BMW put back here with the integrated rear parking sensors. Now looking at the cargo area, you can see the cargo area of the M5 Wagon is one of the reasons why you're going to choose this. BMW actually says preliminary numbers are 17.7 cubic feet back here, which is actually a pretty good amount. There's also some nice underfloor storage underneath here, a little bit more storage to the side. You can also easily fold down those seats. And when you fold down those seats, BMW claims that it expands the cargo to around 57.6 cubic feet. That's a little bit less versus what you're going to get in the BMW X5. But again, this is roughly twice the capacity of the Sedan. And if you guys are looking at the RS6 Avant, this has roughly the same cubic feet of storage space with all the seats folded, although the Audi, by the numbers, has more space when the actual seats are up. But overall, as you guys can tell, this is definitely one of the reasons to go for the Wagon over the Sedan. Moving on to the interior, as you can see, BMW created the perfect color combination here, or at least they showed us the perfect color combination. The Isle of Man green with the orange full merino two-tone leather bucket seats. As you can see, this full leather interior is absolutely gorgeous. I love the leather and the two-tone look. You have these M Sport specific, or these M Sport bucket seats, which have, I believe, the illuminated M logo. I also love the fact that BMW decided to put black on this upper portion, orange here on the rest of the portions here. The company basically, at least for the Sedan, if you want to build the Sedan now in the US, this is not an upcharge for the interior. Typically, they charge you like an extra $3,500 for the full leather merino. So I have to say, the interior really makes a great first impression. You can see the door panels have some nice high quality materials. This is a soft touch injection molded plastics. There's the upgraded Bowers & Wilkins stereo. You have the same kind of LED ambient lighting here, which is illuminated. You have some leather here, and down here you can see it is a hard touch plastic area, although this model that we're showing you here is a really early production, pre-production car, European spec model, so things may change for the US version whenever they come out to America. Now getting inside, you can see this is a wagon, it's a sedan, so you have a really low step-in height, but once you're in here, shut the door has a really solid sounding thunk. Let me check to see if it has a soft close feature. Now this European model does not, but I imagine the US model could have it, especially if you guys go for the executive package, which this particular one I believe also has that upgraded package. Now looking at this interior, if you guys have been in the new 5 Series, this is going to feel pretty familiar. As you can see, it's got the same kind of dash layout. I love the active ambient light strips. This is called the interaction bar that they first showed in the 7 Series, which is brought down to the 5 Series. Love the M Sport specific steering wheel with the flat bottom design with the racing stripe. It's got the prerequisite M1 and M2 buttons. It's got the paddles for the 8-speed automatic as well. You can see there's a power tilt telescoping steering wheel. And overall, it just feels very luxurious, but it also feels a lot more modern and upscale versus the previous generation M5. Now here's the key fob for the vehicle. You can see it's the typical intelligent access key that I've showed you on so many other BMW products. It has your M colors here on the actual fob to let you know you have a special model. The start stop button is located here. Let me see if I can just turn the vehicle on. You can see the vehicle kind of just fires to life because remember, this is a plug-in hybrid, so it doesn't have the typical starter noise that you usually get with a plug-in hybrid, so kind of keep that in mind. When you start it up, it's, again, a completely different experience versus the original M5. Now, This particular one that I'm showing you, as you can see, has the upgraded iDrive 8.5. So if you guys remember when the M5 first came out, it just had iDrive 6, at least the previous generation. Now we're at the 8.5, where you have a 12.3-inch display over here and then a 14.9-inch display over here. I want you to kind of ignore all the messages here. Remember, this is a really early pre-production car that I'm showing you, but the display here running iDrive 8.5, it includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is, you know, kind of the modern tech that you expect. A lot of people have been annoyed because BMW has moved a lot of the climate control functions into the actual display. I'm gonna actually turn the engine off because this vehicle is very low on fuel. But as you can see, this infotainment setup is still one of the better ones in the industry. And once you kind of get used to kind of going into the screen to kind of adjust your climate functions, for example, it all, you know, is relatively easy to use. And with the CarPlay function, it's nice. You can see, pull that up, there's heated and cooled seats. And you should also be able to get massaging seats in this car. At least the previous generation M5 had that. Although I'm not quite entirely sure with the specs for this new version. Now, the dashboard you can see has a soft touch injection molded plastic. Actually, this is kind of like a leather material. I love the kind of glossy material that you have here with the interaction bar. It's got this typical high quality BMW switchgear. You can see the windows are one touch for all four, which is what you'd expect it to be. Over here in the center console area, you can see the dash vents are interesting because you actually control them via these little like rocker switches that are integrated into the dash. Although the dash vents themselves are almost like invisible in the actual dash, you can also open and close the vents from here. This kind of controls where the air flows. You have a wireless phone charging pad over here. You have piano black plastic, which I don't love. You can see the piano black does show smudges and fingerprints, but it definitely makes for a more modern feeling cabin. Down here, you can see it's a padded area over here, although it could be wrapped in more leather. Although again, this is a really early pre-production car. Your gear selector is going to be located over here. It controls the 8-speed automatic. Your iDrive controller is also over here if you don't want to use it as a touchscreen. It also has the M logo there to let you know you have a special model. I also love how it's a glass control. You have a volume knob here, and then your M hybrid mode. This is where you can kind of dial in some of the different drive modes. There's a dynamic plus, a dynamic, a hybrid, and then E control. E control allows you to kind of save the range in the battery pack and preserve it to use it for another time. Remember, this car will do up to 25 miles preliminary testing on electric power alone. Open this up, you can see it's got a nice, decent size center console, nice padded leather over here, and you can see the seats. I love these M Sport or these M specific seats. They are aggressively bolstered, but they hold you in place nicely, and they're still pretty comfortable. This is the upgraded merino leather, and it still feels pretty plush, which again, if you're going to be buying a vehicle like this, you expect it to also be really comfortable. Push that button there, you can see the glove compartment opens up, it's damped, and it's lined with felt. And then on the roof panel here, you can see there's a beautiful kind of Alcantara material. This all glass roof apparently is included on all versions of the Wagon. Although if you're looking for the carbon fiber roof, it's not available. It only comes with this glass roof that has a power retractable shade. It doesn't actually open to vent air, but it does let in a lot of light, especially when you have this kind of long roofed profile. But overall, this interior, if you guys are used to the new 5 Series, or the i5, this is going to feel pretty familiar. It's definitely full of some of the best tech. It's got great materials. It's got a wonderful new M Sport specific or M specific steering wheel here. Decent materials on the door panels and on the dash, and it just feels like a special car, and that's kind of what you want when you're buying a BMW M5. But let's go ahead and hop into the backseat area, because this is a family car, obviously, and you want it to actually have a good amount of space to carry your, kids or your adult friends. You can see back here, you still have the same beautiful full merino orange interior with the two-tone black. Door panel materials are the same as the front, where it's padded here, nice and leather stitched. I love the metal speaker covers, which are also illuminated when you guys go for the Bowers & Wilkins stereo. And BMW didn't talk about the actual legroom figures back here, but the regular 5 Series offers around 37 inches, which I imagine this should be the same, although these seats could take up a little bit of actual space, but this is pretty much where I'd have the seat to drive. You can see I have pretty good legroom underneath the actual seat, good foot space. There is a hump here, obviously, for the drive shaft and the exhaust system. You have rear seat air vents back here. There's also an actual screen back here. If I actually turn this car back on, you can see that screen will come up, and it also will show your rear seat climate controls. You've got 3-level, or looks like, yeah, 3-level heated seats, but not cooled seats back here. You have 2 USB-C charging ports. You have a little bit of storage over here. No storage pockets, but you do have more USB here, along with a little like mount if you want to put an actual rear seat entertainment system, along with this little hole where you could potentially annoy the passenger sitting there, whoever's sitting in the back. The seats themselves back here, the leather feels really nice. I also love the armrest that folds down and gives you the cup holders, and the fact that this vehicle is a wagon. You can see with this glass roof, it lets in a ton of light. And then in terms of the headroom space, you can see at 5'7", I have a pretty good amount of headroom back here to get comfortable. So yeah, if you guys are, considering an X5M competition, the back seat of this vehicle seems pretty similar, at least in terms of legroom and headroom space. But it definitely feels a lot more special. And guys, remember the fact that this is a wagon, a mid-size wagon, or actually it's more like a full size, that offers a ton of space back here. You should easily be able to sell this to your spouse as, a comfortable family car. So here at Monterey, BMW also has the M5 sedan for us to see. You can see this particular one is the frozen gray matte finish paint for additional $3,600. It looks fantastic again with the new body lines of the M5, that new twin kidney grille with the illuminated logo. It's got the same full LED headlights with the dynamic turn signals. And this model here that I'm showing you also has the gloss black finish on the 20-inch wheels. So you have a 20-inch wheel at the front, an even fatter 21-inch wheel at the back, staggered tired setup, same 285, 295 setup. You can see these are the carbon ceramic brakes. So these are about a half an inch larger, and you also get a gold painted caliper. So that's how you know you have the carbon ceramic brakes with that gold painted caliper. Still a 6-piston design. You have Michelin Pilot Sport S5 tires, so it's a summer tire. You can see the charge port door is still located in the same position. This model is actually a US spec. You can see it has the proper J1772 plug. The carbon package also includes the carbon fiber mirror caps. That's an additional extra, and it also includes the carbon fiber roof, which this is not available here on the wagon version of the car, at least for now. You can see looking at the rear. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys prefer the look of the sedan or that beautiful wagon over there. I definitely think the wagon is the way I would go, but the sedan also has a very nice look to it. It's got a slightly different all LED taillight design. The carbon package includes carbon fiber rear lip spoiler, same diffuser at the back with the quad exhaust system. And then in terms of the cargo area, you can see it's got a power opening and closing trunk, and the space back here is still pretty usable. I believe this is around 16 cubic feet of space, so it's a little bit less actually just by the numbers versus the 17.7 that the wagon gives you. The seats do fold down in a 40-20-40 manner still, which is nice. This floor, however, doesn't lift up, it looks like, and that's because the battery pack does live underneath this floor area, so the packaging obviously is a little bit different. I also want to show you guys the interior really quick of the sedan. You can see this model here has the red full merino leather interior with the two-tone look. The red looks really good with the frozen gray exterior. It also has that beautiful pink colored ambient lighting, which is interchangeable. You have that same M Sport specific steering wheel. And then looking at the rear, you can see the backseat area should be also similar to the wagon. I love the red back here with the red all over the seats and the door panel. The one thing I'm noticing, this model I think has the executive package where the Touring actually did not, because you do have these retractable shades back here. On the wagon, I really think that it should be standard, but I imagine those of you are probably gonna get the windows tinted anyways. But overall, let me know in the comment section below if you guys prefer the wagon or this sedan. So considering the long 40-year history for the M5 here in America, it's very pleasing to finally see that BMW is giving Americans a piece of forbidden fruit by finally offering the wagon here in the States. The BMW M5 has been through, again, 7 generations. We've never technically gotten a wagon, so it's really great to see BMW giving enthusiasts what they want. If you guys prefer the sedan, you can still get the sedan body style. The wagon is obviously a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. And with that plug-in hybrid powertrain, the company is promising 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, although I suspect that's conservative. I wouldn't be surprised to see this car, when we actually get our hands on it to do our testing, do it in under 3 seconds. I'll be curious to know what the actual fuel economy is, because unlike the Mercedes-AMG E-Performances, this actually has a decent sized battery pack to give you up to 25 miles of electrical range. Remember, I just recently tested the E-Performance AMG GT 4-door, which only gave you 1 mile of electrical range. So I love the fact that BMW is actually giving you a usable amount. Now, obviously, if you guys are looking to get your hands on the new M5 sedan and Touring, the sedan is already available to order, and BMW has already announced pricing for both body styles. So the sedan starts at around $119,500. I know, 6-figure base price tag for an M5. That's kind of just how expensive things have become. If you guys want the wagon version, it's only $2,000 more, $121,500. Now that sounds like a lot of money, but I want you guys to keep in mind when the E63S AMG wagon was out in 2023, that car started at around $121,000 as well. The Audi RS6 Avant, this car's main rival, starts at $125,600. So technically the BMW is around $4,000 cheaper, and it has around 100 more horsepower. horsepower. It's going to be quicker. It has that electric only range. It has an even better look, at least for me, but looks are always subjective. I would estimate if you guys add in a lot of the options, especially like the carbon ceramic brakes, this car could probably go into the $140,000 range, which to me, again, it's kind of a bargain, because if you're looking in this class of vehicle, the Mercedes E-Performance models, when they come out, at least for the E63, I imagine is going to be considerably more expensive. Audi's RS6 Avant, again, is more expensive, but it has less power, and it's not a plug-in hybrid like this vehicle. So it's surprising to me that BMW is actually turning into the value option in the German space, but it also still gives you the typical amounts of power and ultimate driving feel that you expect with the BMW name. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the 2025 BMW M5 Touring. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.